स्टूडेंट टाइप स्मार्ट काम करो, सब्सक्राइब के साथ साथ बेल आइकन भी दबाओ।
Hey guys, welcome to Maneuver. I'm Advocate Nisha Lotia and my today's session is about the constitutional law, which is very important for the law entrance exams because students, the questions can be asked in the form of the static GK, current affairs or legal aptitude section. Being the citizen of India, it becomes mandatory that you are aware about the fundamental rights, DPSPs, that is the directive principles of state policy, fundamental duties, about the president and the vice president, and or like their appointment, their tenure, and also about the judiciary of India, etc., because the same is being tested during the law entrance exams. But before getting started, let me tell you about the online lectures which Maneuver is offering during this pandemic, which you can sit at home and study and be safe at the same time, guys. We are online, and we give you live lectures, so you can call, to join us on 8828581455. You can even WhatsApp us on the same number, or you can visit us at maneuveredu.com. This is our website, and the link has been mentioned in the description also. So guys, as I told you, that constitutional law is very, very important. Okay, so I'll read the direction and thereafter we'll go to the questions. Guys, do listen to the question properly, the facts, the principles and the options. Then pause the video, try to solve it by yourself, and then come back to my explanation and check whether you have a correct answer or not. Okay, so let's start with the direction. Each question consists of legal propositions, principles, hereinafter referred to as the principle and facts. These principles have to be applied to the given facts to arrive as the most reasonable conclusion. Such principles may or may not be true in the real sense, yet you have to conclusively assume them to be true for the purposes of this section. As I told you in my last video also, some of the facts might be illusionary, okay, वो real नहीं होंगे, but you have to assume them to be true for the purposes of this section. So let's get started with the first question of the constitutional law. Right to carry on any occupation, trade or business is a fundamental right under the Indian Constitution. Okay, it is a fundamental right, correct? The state is under an obligation under the directive principles of state policy to organize agriculture and animal husbandry on scientific lines, and towards that goal take steps to prohibit cow slaughter. Now over here we see that they have mentioned about the fundamental rights, and also they have mentioned about the DPSP. Okay, and we have to you have to be rest assured that it is a well settled law that fundamental rights are not the absolute rights, guys. They come with the reasonable restrictions. Okay, you have a freedom to speech, correct, but you cannot keep on speaking ill about everybody and anybody, correct? Why? Because there is a reasonable restriction imposed towards it. Okay, so this is all about the reasonable restriction. Now you have a fundamental right to carry on any business, but then that that fundamental right always comes with what, guys? It always comes with your reasonable restrictions. Now let's go to the facts of the case. Cow slaughter was completely prohibited by the state of XYZ through legislation. Okay, PQR is a butcher, and his business, besides depending on the meat of other animals, also depends on the meat of cow. As a result, he challenged this legislation as violating the fundamental rights to carry on his business. Now, no doubt, he has a fundamental right of trade and profession. Okay, he has a fundamental right, but you have to understand one thing, that this right is not absolute. It is with reasonable restriction. So now let's see the options. Since the butcher also deals in other kinds of meat, the prohibition of cow slaughter alone will not affect his business completely. Hence, there is no infringement of his right. Now over here, this is not my legal language, guys. Okay, ये मेरा legal language नहीं है. This is my opinion. You have to understand one thing. The opinions and suggestions will never be your answer, because since the butcher also deals in other kinds of meat, the prohibition of cow slaughter will not affect his business completely. This is the opinion. This cannot be your legal answer. Okay, so I see that this is not my correct answer choice. The next one is, any law that infringes on any fundamental rights of the citizens is null and void. The state of XYZ therefore cannot pass such law. Okay, the fundamental rights, okay, you cannot take away the fundamental rights of the citizen, but you have to understand that they can pose reasonable restriction to it. Okay, so even this is not my correct answer choice. Prohibition of cow slaughter in a bid to promote an organized and scientific animal husbandry industry is justified. This is the can never be your answer. Now the last option is the right to carry on any occupation, trade or business as guaranteed in the Indian Constitution is subject to reasonable restrictions. Banning cow slaughter is an example of such a restriction to improve animal husbandry production and is within the ambit of state's power. Look, this is my correct answer choice. It is having all the important points of your fundamental rights, and it is even covering your DPSP, and it is also covering my reasonable restriction. So ये point में मेरे पूरा आंसर का आपको रीजन पता चल गया कि why I have selected this answer. So guys, in your legal aptitude section, never choose an answer which is partially correct. Okay, you can never choose an answer which is partially correct. The entire answer has to be legally valid, guys. बहुत ही important होता है वो. Okay, so moving ahead with the next one. The question goes, only parliament or state legislatures have the authority to enact laws on their own. Okay, they have authority to enact laws on their own. No law made by the state can take away a person's fundamental rights. Okay, fundamental rights कोई भी नहीं ले सकता अपने से, correct? Facts of the case goes, Parliament enacted a law which according to a group of lawyers is violating the fundamental rights of traders. Okay, a group of lawyers files a writ petition challenging the constitutional validity of the statute, seeking relief to quash the statute and further direct Parliament to enact a new law. Okay, now over here, if a law which is made, okay, एक bill pass होता है और law बनता है. Okay, now जब ये law बनता है, and if it is impairing or taking away your fundamental rights from you, then you can go to the courts. Okay, directly through the form of the writs you can approach the courts and say कि मेरा fundamental right disturb हो रहा है, so the law जो नया बना है उसको क्या करें आप, invalidate करें. Okay, this is something that you can do. Okay, but then can you direct them to make laws? Okay, so this is what we're gonna see now. Let's look at the options. No writ would lie against Parliament as the court has no authority to direct to enact law or re-enact a law. Okay, I'll keep this option in a side. The court can quash existing law if it violates fundamental rights and can direct to make a new law. Okay, and can direct the Parliament to make a. Can court ask the Parliament, guys? कोर्ट डायरेक्ट कर सकता है पार्लियामेंट को कि आप ये लॉ बनाओ और आप ये नया लॉ ये बनाओ और आप वो लॉ बनाओ. नो, द पार्लियामेंट विल डू ऑन देयर ओन. Okay, it is on their own, guys. This is very very important for you to understand. The court can quash. The court has a right that it can quash the law made if it is infringing anybody's fundamental right. But guys, you cannot direct anybody. It cannot direct the Parliament to enact कि आप ये law बनाओ और आप वो law बनाओ. Okay, very very important is that. So there is a minute difference between these two options, guys. Please pay attention. The court can quash existing law if it violates fundamental rights and can direct Parliament to make a new law. The court can quash the existing law if it violates fundamental rights, but cannot direct the Parliament to make a new law. None of these. Okay, none of these. तो ये आंसर हो ही नहीं सकता है इसमें. So the Parliament, the court can quash the existing law, but it cannot direct the Parliament to make a new law. Is my correct answer choice. Okay, so no writ would lie against Parliament. Parliament पे writ हो सकता है, क्यों नहीं हो सकता है? If Parliament is acting unconstitutionally, we can always file a writ against them, and this is why fundamental rights are given to us. Okay, and writs have been mentioned. Okay, so writs is what? They are the heart and soul of the constitution, guys. Correct? Why? Because even we can find against the state, we can find against the Parliament also if they are infringing our fundamental rights. This is a very very important question. ये कम से कम अभी तक 4 to 5 years में पूछा गया है. you can expect this question in your examinations, guys. Please clear the concept if there's any difficulty. It says, okay, let's go to the question 3 now, guys. All the citizens have the right to freedom of speech and expression, to assemble peacefully and without arms, to form associations or unions, to move freely throughout the territory of India, to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India, to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or business. However, the exercise of these rights is subject to reasonable restrictions, okay, is subject to reasonable restrictions imposed by the state. Now the state has a right, okay, to impose reasonable restrictions as and when necessary. जैसे अभी I'll tell you, अभी ये कोरोना वायरस है ना, so if they are telling you that you have to, you cannot use right now, you cannot use local trains, correct? But who can use the local trains? Who are using the essential, who comes into the essential category, correct? So these are what, these are the reasonable restrictions what they have put up right now. Now how, you can say how state can do, because they are constitutionally they are allowed to do it. Constitutionally, guys, they are allowed to do it. Nothing out of constitution that go. What is constitution? Constitution is something that is Samvidhan of India. Okay, that is Samvidhan of India, which Narendra Modi always keeps on saying, Samvidhan of India. So you have to understand properly whatever the state is doing, whatever the parliament is doing, or whatever the judiciary is doing, they all are following the constitutional law of India, basically the constitution of India. Okay, now these rights, what has been guaranteed to us, the state has a right to impose reasonable restriction to it, to why, ताकि पूरा जो कंट्री है एक प्रॉपरली एक स्मूथली रन कर सके. when you are given these powers, you do not misuse these powers. Okay, the central idea behind them is this. Let's see the facts of the case. The government imposed a cap on the number of text messages sent per day from every SIM card to 20 with immediate effect. Okay, these restrictions are to remain in force for 15 days. This action was taken against the backdrop of exodus of the northeastern people from major cities of the country following a tide of rumors spread by text and multimedia messages that people hailing from the northeastern states would be attacked to avenge a recent ethnic violence in one of the northeastern states. Companies that were completely dependent upon this mode of communication for customers outreach protested against this cap on messages, saying that it was infringing upon their freedom of speech and expression. Decide if it is an infringement on the freedom of speech and expression of the citizens. Now, we have a absolute freedom of speech and expression, which is mentioned over here in the first part, correct? But then we know that the state can impose reasonable restriction. Now it has imposed a reasonable restrictions, and the reason has been mentioned for the same, which is absolutely a valid reason, guys. So this infringement, okay, yeah, this interference with your right is absolutely valid, correct? Because they are doing it for what, कि ये जो news जो rumor spread हो रहे हैं वो spread नहीं हो, to control that rumors, for the for the betterment of the country they are doing it, for the betterment of the society they are doing it. So this infringement is absolutely valid in the eyes of law. Okay, so let's see at the options, guys. Yes, because the trade of many companies are being affected. Okay, the second option says no, because the restrictions are reasonable and have been imposed due to internal security concerns. Yes, because the government is imposing a ban on how much we can communicate. None of these. Okay, so guys, the government can absolutely put a ban, because it is what, it comes under the definition of reasonable restrictions for the internal security concerns. Okay, so ये जो yes वाले हैं ये आपके क्या हो जाएंगे, आपके invalidate हो जाएंगे, और ये none of these is also not your correct answer choice. The B1, no, because the reasonable restrictions are reasonable and have been imposed due to internal security concerns. Okay, so kindly read the principle properly, and I am telling you the concept of the reasonable restriction is very important to understand it in the right context, and it will help you a lot in your examinations. Let's move towards the fourth question. The Constitution of the India guarantees the right to life, which means right to live with human dignity. The right to life under the Constitution, however, does not include the right to die. Right to life में आपका right to die include नहीं होगा. Okay, so let's see the facts of the case. M, who is 90, lives all alone as he has no family or children or grandchildren. He suffers from physical and mental distress as there is no one to look after him. He has little means to foot his medical expenses. Under these circumstances, he approaches the court with a prayer that he should be granted the right to die with dignity because he does not want to be burdened on the society. Further, as it is his life, he has a right to put an end to it. Now over here, when we see that over here, the right to life does not include right to die. Okay, so he does not have a right to die, guys. Okay, this is nothing but the direct application of the principle. So I would request everybody to read the principle properly and understand it, because it is an entrance exam. Maximum time आपका है ना principle का direct application ही होगा. But the thing is that you have to be a very good reader. You should have an edge over reading and understand the thing at the same time. So ये आपका कैसे improve होगा, guys? You have to read lot of relevant content. Okay, आपका जो content होना चाहिए ना, जो आप reading के लिए practice करते हो, that has to be very much relevant. Get used to the certain legal terms. Very very important. जब when it is concerning your contract, your torts, your IPC, your constitution, your intellectual property, get used to the legal terms and things will really be very easy. And I'm repeating once again, guys, that legal aptitude section is a very scoring section provided you understand the concepts. Okay, and never mug up any answer. Never memorize any answers, guys, because अगर आपने जो memorize किया होगा वो आपने positive facts वाले memorize किए होंगे, correct? But then in exam, if they twist the facts and they give you the negative facts about the same thing, तो आपका answer पूरा change हो जाएगा. So never ever memorize any answer. Try and understand the concepts, make them clear, and I'm sure you will come to the accurate answer. So the option goes, which of the following derivations is correct? So the options are, the prayer can be granted as suicide is not an offense in India. Now अभी suicide की तो बात ही नहीं हुई है, correct? So this is not my correct answer. The prayer can be granted as the right to life under Constitution includes the right to die. Now the principle is clearly stating you that it does not include right to die, correct? The prayer can be granted as a person cannot be forced to enjoy right to life to his detriment, disadvantage and disliking. Okay, now again this is nothing but the opinion. So opinion will never be my correct answer, guys. The prayer cannot be granted as the right to life under the Constitution does not include right to die. See, this is what direct application of the principle. Okay, so D is my correct answer choice. Let's move to the fifth question for the day. Assertion. The Indian Constitution was adopted on 26th November 1949. The reason is, Law Day is celebrated in India on 26th November every year. And the four options are, both A and R are individually true and R is the correct explanation of A. Both A and R are individually true but R is not the correct explanation of A. A is true but R is false, and A is false but R is true. Now this is nothing but your assertion reasons, correct? Now assertion and reason, what you have to do is, when it comes to assertion and reason types of question, guys, first individually you have to check whether both the statements are true or false. Okay, so individually when you see that both the statements are true, okay, then what you have to do, you have to apply because between the two statements and then reread the statement. If it makes sense, then both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. But after applying because, if it does not make sense, then your answer choice will be B, that is both A and R are true but R is not the correct explanation of A. Okay, this is the way, while by applying because, between both the sentences, you will come to the correct answer. Okay, let's start with the assertion first. The Indian Constitution was adopted on 26th November 1949. Reason, Law Day is celebrated in India on 26th November every year. Now we see over here, guys, that this is a true statement, correct? And Law Day is celebrated in India on 26th November every year. Even this is my true statement. So after, as I told you, after both the statements being true, now what I'll do, I'll apply because in between and just reread the statements. The Indian Constitution was adopted on 26th November 1949. Because the Law Day is celebrated in India on 26th November every year, you think Indian Constitution adopt हुआ होगा because Law Day celebrate हुआ होगा? ये लॉ डे इस सेलिब्रेट हो रहा है क्योंकि इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अपना अडॉप्ट हुआ है. सो व्हेन आई एम रीडिंग ओवर हियर अप्लाइंग द बिकॉज इट इज नॉट मेकिंग सेंस. ओके, बट व्हाट इज इट that both A and R are my individual true statements, but R is not the correct explanation of A. So this is my correct answer choice. Had it been ulta, जैसे Law Day is celebrated in India on 26th November every year because the Indian Constitution was adopted on 26th November 1945, then A would have been my correct option. But in the present scenario, then B is my correct option. I hope assertion and reason is clear to you guys. So these three are not my correct answer choice. Okay, when it comes to constitution, assertion and reason बहुत ही important होता है. Try and understand how you have to do it and try and understand the concepts of the constitutional law, which is very, very important. So guys, Maneuver have the entire program, guys. We have the books, we have the mock test, which is a must do thing. You know, you cannot appear your exams without the mock test because you know they are the replicas. You will know which section you are good at, how long and how much time you're covering in each section, and what are the experts doing in it. So all that with time limit we have, guys. Mock test, we have the sectional course also, and we have the entire course also, and right now we are giving you the live lectures also. So we have the entire package. Okay, and for the same you can call us on 8828581455, or you can visit us at maneuveredu.com law entrance. Guys, we are located at Borivali, Dadar and Vasai, and very, very shortly we are coming to Pune also. Okay guys, so you can join us, and the link has been mentioned in the description also. Guys, stay home, stay safe, prep smart and score better. Thank you.